ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and I've got some very interesting news that somehow went under my radar. Baldur's Gate 3 is going out with a big bang by adding 12 new subclasses so you can finally become a drunken master or maybe just befriend some bees, along with crossplay and a photo mode. And when they say they're going out with a bang, they mean it. Like adding crossplay, adding photo mode, adding 12 new subclasses. This really makes this game pretty much endlessly replayable. It's I saw someone say that it's pretty much the new Skyrim, and I kind of have to agree. This just makes it to where your options are so extensive for this game that what is going on here? That it's just fun. It's a fun game. It's well made. It's just great in so many different ways. And let's get into this article from PC Gamer. The end of the RPG's feature-heavy update is in sight, but some good stuff is still coming next year. So this was from November 2024, 2027. So the next year, this year, in 2025, this is when the final update's going to drop. And we're going to get these subclasses. When Larian said it was ready to move on from Baldur's Gate back in March, rather than continue to work on an expansion that had started to morph into Baldur's Gate 4, I assumed that it meant it would be winding down the updates too. But since then, we've seen a bunch of substantial patches, and we've just learned that another on its way. Yep, Larian just decided to chuck another 12 subclasses into the game as well as some more treats. Before we bid Faerun adieu and search of strange shores, the new community updates reads, we have one more major patch waiting around the corner. Arriving next year, this update will introduce some of the most eagerly awaited features to Baldur's Gate 3, crossplay and a photo mode, along with 12 new subclasses. These subclasses are absolutely the highlight here, introducing a different way to play each class. That's a pretty hefty addition. Here's what you can expect. Bard, College of Glamour, a support subclass that heals allies and commands enemies. Barbarian, Path of Giants. Yes. Become a burly beefcake that uses their rage to grow in both size and strength. Cleric, Death Domain. One for the Goths. This subclass focuses on spells that cause necrotic damage, and you can make corpses explode. Fun. Druid, Circle of Stars. The celestial-themed Druid subclass gives you 3 starry forms with different flavors. Oath of the Crown Paladin, a righteous paladin subclass. Well, that's redundant. You'll be able to heal your pals by soaking up damage and disrupt your enemies with divine taunts. Arcane Archer coming to Fighter. Yo. So, I gotta pause real quick. The Arcane Archer was my first ever D&D character that I played on the tabletop. And this was back in, I think, 3.0. And it was, well, actually, I guess I played with Thaco. So what was that? 2.0? Was 2.0 Thaco? I was just a dwarven fighter. The game was like maybe 2 sessions. We didn't get very far into it. We were kids. We didn't know what we were doing. But my first real character that I played and we got really far into the campaign was an Arcane Archer. And it was a broken class. It should not have existed the way that it did. When 3.5 came out, they pretty much reworked the entire class because it needed it. You were just doing... It's so hard to remember. It's been so long. But I want to say that just a regular arrow shot with nothing special to it, just the class bonuses, was doing plus 2d10 damage and made all your arrows, I want to say, like plus 7. And for D&D people, they know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, it basically means your arrows always hit and they did way more damage than they should. Excuse me. It was wild. But I can't wait to see how they handle it in the game. This magical range subclass can banish enemies to the Feywild and batter foes with psychic damage. So this seems like a totally different Arcane Archer than I remember. Monk, Drunken Master, get all boozed up before a fight for the ultimate bar brawl and intoxicate your foes before aggressively sobering them up. Ranger, Swarm Keeper, a ranger subclass for fans of bees. Not just bees, though. You'll be able to summon swarms of moss and jellyfish, too. Why not? Alright, you got me on the jellyfish one. Are these like flying jellyfish? Are they like Avazoa that just like swim through the air? I have so many questions. I can't wait to see what that's about. I'm going to have to make a ranger now. Rogue, Swashbuckler. Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't have enough pirates, but that's about to change thanks to this dirty Skullduggerous subclass that lets you blind and disarm enemies. Oh, if they don't have acrobatic charge under Swashbuckler, I will be sorely disappointed. I also think they should add the Elven Thin Blade as a weapon, because that is the best weapon to put in the hands of a Swashbuckler. Just because, I don't even know if it's in D&D 5th edition, or whatever the new one is, 5.5. But in 3.5, it was a thing. And the Elven Thin Blade was best one-handed weapon, especially for dex-based classes. Sorcerer Shadow Magic. With this subclass, you can shadow walk between dim places, see better in the dark, and summon a spooky dog. See, that's how they get people to play Sorcerer that are reluctant. You get a boyo. You get a little good boyo. A little shadow boy. Warlock's Hexblade. The Warlock has made a pact with an entity that takes the shape of various magical weapons, and you'll be able to summon the spirits of fallen foes. And Wizard Blade Singing. A martial wizard subclass. Blade Singing splices spells with swordplay and lets you get properly stuck into the melee scrum. So yeah, they're adding a lot of flavor here. This is a lot of flavor to the game, and it's going to give you some great versatility in gameplay. I doubt it'll affect the story, but as far as being able to test new builds, this is going to be very interesting. Because I admittedly, once I saw the, was it the salami build, where you beat the game with a salami, I tried a torch build, which then someone made like a really good torch build, and I was like, all right, this is how you do it. Way better than mine. Mine was just a couple of buffs, but I think someone found a way to like add, was it 3 or 4 different modifiers to the torch, making it do stupid amounts of damage. Back to the article. Boy, that's a lot of new stuff. I'm going to be playing this game forever, I reckon. Oh well, I couldn't think of a worse fate. Or I could think of a worse fate. While a lot of these new additions come directly from D&D, Larian's thrown some fun homebrew stuff in there too. And the subclasses also come with new animations, VFX, and voice lines for the Oathbreaker Paladins. Interesting. Yeah, their homebrew stuff is that which classes they're choosing to do these things. I believe Arcane Archer was actually more geared towards the Ranger class. And Hexblade was... No, Hexblade was always Warlock. Blade Singer was a fighter variant, not a wizard variant. From what I remember. It's been a while. Photo modes and crossplay. The subclasses alone would make the update the biggest Larian's put together, but the photo mode and crossplay features give us even more to look forward to. Crossplay means you'll be able to hang out with pals playing on other platforms, so if you've got some buddies adventuring away on their PS5, for instance, you'll be able to join them in a crossplay lobby. The photo mode, meanwhile, will let you set up your shot with a bunch of options, and then you can edit it to make everything look just right. Camera settings, lens settings, scene settings, post-processing effects, post-production effects. Frames and stickers mean that there should be a lot to tinker with. Ooh, stickers. The patch doesn't have a release date yet, but Larian's going to start stress testing in January, and if you can't wait until release, you'll be able to find out how you can participate in the test and the next community update. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome news if you ask me. I play this game. I probably load up Baldur's Gate once every couple of months and just do a run through of the story with a new character I've never done. I've been mostly playing original characters. What's my last one I just started was Dark Urge. And I'm going to start doing the pre-made characters. Like, I want to do Asterion run or Gale. I want to do Gale first because I want to do the God Gale storyline, and I really, really want to try the Magic Missile only build. Just dump everything into Magic Missile, all the bonuses for Magic Missile, and see how many Magic Missiles you can fire off. I saw an article where someone beat the entire honor mode with just a Magic Missile mage solo, which blew my mind because I can understand having a Magic Missile mage and then having all the other characters, but doing it solo is pretty much next level for me. That's up there. That's a high level achievement. But yeah, I don't know how this slipped under my radar. Usually I'm pretty up to date when it comes to Baldur's 3 or Baldur's Gate news, and this just right under. I guess it was during Thanksgiving when it was published, and I do the cooking in my house, so I was really, really preoccupied at the end of November. Not to mention that it's very busy at my job during that time, so I was working and doing all this stuff, and this just, I missed it, but there's the update on it. I'm hoping this comes out by, say, March, if there's stress testing in January. But maybe we'll get a April or May release at the latest. But I'm really curious to see the two I want to really, really try. Arcane Archer and Swashbuckler. Two of my favorite classes from 3.0. The Swarm Keeper seems hilarious. It's straight up some Bioshock stuff. Just throwing bees at people. But yeah, lots of options. Lots of versatility. And these new animations should be interesting as well. I wonder what they're going to be doing there. Larian has just proved to be one of the best gaming studios out there. And it really bodes well for their next game that they're working on, which is going to be another RPG. But it's not D&D. And I'm really hoping it remains in that same essence of Baldur's Gate 3, where it's a very in-depth and detailed, lots of winding paths and nuance to the characters. But, you know, only time will tell and we'll have to wait. But until then, we're going to be playing the hell out of Baldur's Gate 3. At least I am. I don't know about you, but come on. Come on. But that is all I have for this video. Belmont out.